Crysis 3, one of the most awesome games I think I've ever seen and played. Unfortunately, due to some issues, it died out pretty quickly. This was unfortunate because for the time that I did play it, I enjoyed it thoroughly. The weapons were very balanced, very nice, the character movement was very solid and fluid, it all worked very well. So it was sad to see it go, but what I've done today is try to recreate some of the Crysis we know and miss in Battlefield 3 by taking the AK-74M and making it look like the FY7M1 from Crysis 3. So what I've done to the AK today is we've got the iron sights, the suppressor and the underslung rail on there as well. I'll tell you why I've done those. First of all, the iron sights are there to be a bit more challenging, make it a bit harder to use, because as we know, if you put a cobra sight, a red dot sight of some sort on the AK, a heavy barrel and the underslung rail, then you can absolutely decimate the enemy. You can destroy people. It's so accurate at long range with the slow fire rate and the huge power it has. It can be an absolute killing machine. But I've always enjoyed iron sights on weapons in Battlefield 3. Not all of them, of course. Some stand out to me, such as the FAMOS, which is awful. We'll forget about that one. But the AK, that definitely does seem to fit with iron sights. But anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is the suppressor. Now, as we know, Crysis is famous for its stealth ability with cloak mode, and if you put a suppressor on there, you can be the ultimate stealth machine. So suppressor is mainly there for more stealth and Crysis feel. I've always enjoyed being the invisible person in Battlefield 3, when you can sneak up on a bunch of people and just wipe them out more or less instantly. As you'll hopefully see in this video, I think there was one occasion where knife someone, then two people around the corner, they have no idea, and the suppressor definitely comes in handy for those type of situations, the secret ops SAS missions that you always want to go on. Now lastly, we have the underslung rail. That's just there to make it a bit more accurate at long range, because the suppressor does decrease the power, the range and the bullet drop off. So the underslung's there just to make it a bit more accurate, a bit more usable at range. The only downside about this weapon was trying to use it in close quarter combat, because as we know, it's got a slow fire rate. So if you meet someone round the corner with an AEK M16 P90, P90 was the main killer for me, I found, in this match anyway, on Team Deathmatch. But anyway, if you meet someone with a faster firing weapon, you're pretty much screwed. So that's where the stealth ability comes in very handy. You've got to really try and pick your locations, pick your directions to run in, because if you run into a situation that you can't handle and you're obviously not going to win, then you're going to be overpowered and decimated. Picking your situations though is easier said than done, because in Metro, for example, it's very open, very urban, and there's a lot of people running around everywhere looking out windows, so you can be spotted very easily. Now, the best way I found to do this was certain trees in Metro, as you might see in the gameplay, fall down and they become absolutely perfect cover. So you can see someone running past across the road, you just jump into the midst of the trees and no one ever knows you're there. So certain situations can be picked, but of course it is hard to do. You really got to know what direction to run in, got to know where the enemy is. Of course, use the minimap, and a little trick that probably you already know is if there's no teammates in a certain area of the minimap, that's where the enemy is going to spawn, or most likely there's going to be people there that aren't friendly or want to shoot you. So you probably already know that, but that's a little tip I used and worked very well, especially when I wanted to try and sneak up on people. It worked very well. So I had a lot of fun doing this, knifing people here and there. I got countless numbers of knife kills. It worked unbelievably well. So I definitely recommend you go try this setup out. The suppressor is pretty much the only attachment, and just sprint. That's all I used. It really does make it feel like Crysis when you have sprint, running around super fast, just knifing people here and there, taking people down when they have no idea. It was absolutely unbelievable. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time.